life is what our thoughts make it.
Are you a positive person or a negative person?
No, I'm absolutely positive. Absolutely.
I'm positive.
I'm a positive person.
I'm thinking positive things.
Yes, I'm trying to be at least.
No, dubious.
I'm a realistic thinker.
Thinker. I am a thought expert. Welcome to the talk. It is designed specifically, exclusively for mentors. And mentors are, well, literally everybody on this planet. The aim of the talk is for you to become aware of what type of thinker you are. From your thoughts, come your actions, comes your behavior, comes your example. And example, of course, is the greatest teacher for the next generation. I can't do my talk for anyone who doesn't function properly. I'll have to ask you just for wait outside. So we have a couple of little tests. The first one, and I think seeing as it is my birthday, we'll use Happy Birthday. I want you to whistle the tune, and while you're whistling Happy Birthday, I want you to two hands up, turn them outwards, bring them back inward. Now this is not too difficult to do if you're a human being. Enthusiasm is a part of you. So I want you to say, Magic Box is the greatest! Did anyone battle first? Do you know why you didn't battle? Human being. Amazingly put together. Each one of us. We have got so much just because we were born into this human race. Now another area, I'm talking about this side, what's going on inside that nobody sees. What is your thinking like? And I want to first of all see if you can delve into the archives of your mind. Let's take 9/11. You can see the picture in the mind of those airplanes flying along. Suddenly the building is beginning to topple. There's pink and grey smoke coming down. Can you bring that out of the archives of your mind? Can you remember it? Can you see it? Difficult for anybody to do that? Not in the slightest. This area is functional too. A brain that works. Again, because we are these amazing beings, the human being, and we have so much potential, so many possibilities. Let's look at what kind of thinkers you are, because the thought expert, you belong in one of these categories. The four thinker types are the positive thinker. All know about the positive thinker, right? Oh, come on, those guys, they're always smiling. They can have the most marvelous idea. It can fall flat right in front of them. Is the guy down in the dumps? Complaining? Irritatingly happy. It wasn't the right time. Hey, we're going to approach it differently. No, it's not a problem. I've learned something. Positive thinker. Are you a positive thinker? Or opposite side of the coin, the negative thinker. Anyone ever met a negative thinker? Married to one? Negative thinkers, how heavy that is. And here's the worst part, when that negative thinker was born, amazing little baby, wasn't a negative thinker. It's an incredible little child, mind and potential. But the example that this little child was exposed to, either by parents, by school teachers, by friends, whatever, the most impressive was a negative. No, it can't work, wasting your time. No, life is uphill. Don't think it's easy. It's not. You're going to battle a negative thinker. Are you a negative thinker? The next thinker type is the realistic thinker. I'm a realistic thinker. I have quite a few goes with the realistic thinker because the realistic thinker will say, you know, Lonnie, oh, very nice. I look at the facts. I look at the facts. I'm not going to plan a holiday when there's no money in the bank. You know, I have got that brain and I am practical. I'm a realistic thinker. The last thinker type is the combo thinker. And the combo thinker is positive a lot of the time. Because let's face it, we all know that it's good to be positive. Walk into a bookstore, all the success stories. Positive, oh yes, it's about positive thinking. We know that. And so, being combo thinkers, we're positive a lot of the time. We do our best. But then something happens in our life that is so bad. It is so tragic. It is so heavy. It's so hard. We say, you know what? I cannot take that. I can't handle that. And down they go. They become negative. What thinker type are you? Which category do you fall into? As I said, you do fall into one of them. I want you to put a sticker on your forehead so that I know what thinker types we've got here. The pink is for this positive guy. Then the green is the combo. The red, realistic. The blue. I got the blues. I'm down in the dumps. I want to see a sticker on everybody's forehead. See just what kind of thinkers we have here, because let's face it, when you went to school, you didn't have to write an exam and they said, oh, you're a positive, you're a negative, you're a this. We don't know, so it's up to us to estimate what kind of thinker do I think I am, and be as honest as you can, because you can't fool yourself. We've got one confused thinker, two confused thinkers, and here's a positive. Is it red? Realistic, sorry. Confused, positive, and realistic. And there we have a combo. Last one is another combo. But this is how you read yourself as a thinker type. Let's have a look at these four thinker types. Green, I think we've got the most greens, that's the combo. Let's start off with combo thinkers. Okay, combo thinkers, imagine, here was a lovely table full of delicious snacks and absolutely everything your heart could desire. Julie says, okay guys, take a little plate and dig in, help yourselves. And then Julie sees someone heading for one of the snacks with a little cheese square on top, and she says, oh, hang on guys, just let me, before you start, these little snacks with the cheese nippy caused paralysis in the right leg within 3 or 4 months. I'm afraid you won't be able to really walk properly if you eat those ones. So, and while I'm telling you, these ones with the sardines, they definitely affect eyesight. By the end of the year, you'll be blind. Would any of us take our plate and grab one of the cheese little snippies and one of the sardines? We've got one life. And gee, I think everybody's idea is to have the best life we can. It's a short little period that we have on this earth. Why would I actually mess up now? I can't walk properly, now I can't see. It's ridiculous. Of course I wouldn't do that. Never. Combo thinkers. When you allow a poisonous, toxic, forget the reason for it, negative thought into your powerful, powerful mind, your brain. When you let that material into your brain, you are taking a cheese niblet. You are having the sardine. You are choosing voluntarily to mess up what could be your beautiful life. You are doing it by choice. Negative thought is poisonous. We weren't designed to have negative thought. That is poisonous. As a combo thinker, you need to say, well, there is nothing on earth that's important enough for me to ruin my future. And by the way, when you're linked to families, it's not just your future, it's theirs too. If you become toxic and negative, those that love you are the ones that feel it. Those that are close to you are the ones that are affected. I don't know what the problem is now. I wish I could help him or her. You daren't allow a negative thought in, no matter how good the reason. It's not okay. Let's have a look at realistic thinkers. I always think when I see that sticker, you have got no clue of just how amazing you are as a human being. You do not know your potential, because nothing is impossible for a human being. There's nothing we can't achieve. We are so amazingly put together. We need to believe it. We can do absolutely anything. I went to the States for a few years. I had sold my house. I'd sold everything because I was going to America to change the world. But we didn't have internet then. I spent all my money. I was there for about 3 years and I was flat broke, and I came back. But now I didn't have a house. So there was a little house in Gordons Bay. It said for sale, and I went to the bank. I see a little house in Gordons Bay and I want to buy it, but I don't have any money. And she said, well, just give me 3 or 6 months bank statements. Then I said, yes, but you didn't listen to the first part when I talked to you. I've been overseas for 3 years. I'm a speaker. There's no problem with finances. I've just come back. And she gave me 100% loan to buy this little house. I moved into the house. The lady over the road waved and she said, hi, come and have some tea. So I crossed the road and I went and I said, hi, my name's Lonnie. Yes, I'm Susan. Susan eventually told me that they had to sell because they weren't making it financially. She said, we are actually going to be leaving soon. And bing! I thought, well, of course, this is my house. It's much bigger. It's perfect. She had the cutest, prettiest, most beautiful house, double the size, double the price, double the everything. Was I realistic? I began to use my powerful mind, a photograph of the house, put it on my computer over the road, and spoke to the kids. Yes, I found really the perfect house, and large enough. This little one's too small. That was in my mindset, the mindset that each of us have. We've got a power bank here. The neighbors left and the house stood empty. One day a little car came zipping across and a woman got out of the car and started looking into the windows of my house over the road. And I said, excuse me, can I help you? She said, yes, this house, is it for rent? We're looking for a place to rent. So I said, I have no idea whether this little house is for rent. I don't know. But I do know that this house is for rent. Well, give me till tomorrow. I'm going to rent my house. And I quickly phoned the bank. I was able to rent that house, and the other little family moved into my other house. And within a week or two, they were saying we want to buy because we were starting a business nearby. All right, it's a deal. So I knew I had a buyer for my house, just a matter of paperwork. And then the auction came up, the house that I was living in. Who do you think came to the auction? Beautiful little house. It was the bank and me. That's all. No one else came. And I spoke to the 2 guys that were there and I said, you know, I can go up to 200,000, but no more. That's my budget. I've got the loan for that. Auctioning went on, me, the bank. House is yours, ma'am. And I got that house at half price. Bang! My last bid. Your mind is an incredible, incredible thing if you believe in it and use it. Why did I suddenly blurt out to this lady? I wasn't expecting someone to come and look in the windows. And yet when she said, is this house for rent? Without a hesitation, I said, this one's for rent. Why? My brain was at work.
All that man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is a direct result of his thoughts.
I'm going to tell you as briefly as I can the story of a positive thinker that came into my life. I was busy writing my book and so absorbed in the whole project when there was a knock on my window pane, knock, 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 and when I looked, there was a man, tallish guy, he had hair right around his head and his beard, all of it in this bushy format. One eye was missing, it had been sewn closed, and he was chuckling, he was laughing. "Ma'am, I want to fix your garden." What a mess. I really don't mind that the garden looks a mess. And he said, "Look at the leaves, ma'am, all over." So I said, "Yes, but I don't really mind." "You don't mind, ma'am, but the neighbors." And I thought, okay, it's got a point. They have actually been a bit cool lately. "Okay, what's your name?" "I'm Old Jim." I said, "Okay, Old Jim, you can start on Monday. There is a rake around the corner in the little shed. You can come and rake all the leaves. You can come every Monday, that's your job. And I'll give you coffee and bread, and if I've got any loose coins, you'll get them too." Old Jim was a rather astute businessman because he would put the leaves in a nice neat pile, also in my view, so that I could see this guy's doing a good job. And he would never put them in a garbage bag, those leaves. And in Somerset West, which was where I was now, it's windy. The leaves were back. He had looked after his job. I used to give sandwiches to the kids every morning, bread from Checkers, jam from Checkers, but here was this big jar of jam I had made. Huge jar, wouldn't get stuff. And I thought, I'll put that on Jim's sandwich. And the bread that I used for Jim was yesterday's bread. Today's bread's for the kids' sandwich. We're clever with our mind. We've got 3 kids to feed, and now Jim's coming 3 or 4 times a week. Knock on the back door. "Madam, I want to talk to you about the sandwiches." And I thought, oh my God, how much would it have cost me just to do the same as the kids? And I felt so guilty. "Madam, I just want to thank you for the most delicious sandwiches I ever tasted." He only sees the sweetness in life. He doesn't see if the bread's not as fresh as, he sees the sweetness with so much more. And how we can complain because, man, damn it, those shoes, I was going to wear those things too. Oh, no, and we upset ourselves, we upset everyone around us over nonsense. When I was overseas, it was right at the end of faxes, sent a fax because someone was saying, "We're a publisher and we'd like stories, and we see you're a writer." It had to be about a mentor, Old Jim. And I wrote the story Jam on my sandwiches, and I sent it to them. I got a letter from the editor, and she said, "We love your story, Lani," putting it right at the end. When I got home, I looked for Old Jim. This is now 3 years later. I must tell Old Jim, he's in a book in America. He's famous. I looked for the old man in Somerset West, and I couldn't find him. And eventually there I saw this figure coming very slowly. One of his legs had completely given in because he'd been gored by a bull. That's how he lost his eye, he told me. And so he would walk with a stick, but very slowly. And I said, "Oh, Jim, how are you?" At first I thought he's not going to even recognize me. I said, "The sandwiches." Laughed and said, yeah. The old boss, he looks after me. And I said, "How are you, Jim? How are you doing?" And of course his reply was, "Uitstekend, as always." A man with nothing but a brilliant mindset, attitude. Something that helps you to have a wonderful life. If we could just get there where we only register the positives, we don't register all the other little things that we make a fuss about for nothing. We register gratitude, the goodness, the positives, and enrich ourselves and those around us. Negative thinkers. I was a negative thinker. I was going to have the most wonderful marriage, like we're all going to have. I suppose in our dreams or in reality. But my marriage, total failure. I was so depressed and negative. There's no hope. There's nothing. I've had it. And that is precisely where I was when a little old lady walked in to the surgery where I was working, and she looked at my miserable face and she said, "Do you know, my dear, everything you have in your life today, everything, there's only one person responsible. You. What are you thinking? How can she possibly think she knows anything about my life?" Here she's telling me I'm responsible. Come on, I'm a victim. But as I went home, these words of hers came back. You are responsible. You are responsible. What are you thinking? And so I looked at my thoughts, but I really looked at things. What a bunch of bad characters, all of them feeling sorry for themselves, or frightened, or hopeless, or whatever, but nothing worthwhile. And I decided to make it easy. I'm going to use thoughts that are ingredients of love. Love is good. You can't really fault love. It's got everything: the patience, the kindness, the goodness, the compassion. If it's an ingredient of love, as I've been told love is, and as I believe love is, then I'll let it into my mind. If it's not an ingredient, and that doesn't mean hatred, it means irritation, disappointment, frustration, any of those thoughts are not love. Love is full of hope. Love's going to get you there, but these other thoughts not. So I even went as far as colouring them in mentally. Pink thoughts, thoughts that were ingredients of love. Grey thoughts were thoughts that had no love. That's all. Simple as that. I'm just going to stick to a diet of only pink thoughts. Nothing else is coming into this mind of mine. I'm going to stick to this. And at first it nearly drove me crazy because these thoughts were lining up. No, you can't do that. No, this is not fair. You can't just forget, just look on this side. The biggest culprit was self-pity. Self-pity, I think, was living in my mind. I've probably given self-pity the penthouse with DSTV and whatever he needed. So he was at home there, and now I was kicking him out? No. He wanted to get back in, and he kept coming back with different reasons. It's not fair. No, love would say, let me be grateful. Let me look at the positives. After 6 weeks, I was a different person. That woman who didn't want to get out of bed, she was crying and she was miserable. I was hopping out of bed early, smelling that fresh air. Wow, I never knew it was so good this early in the morning. It's beautiful. It was literally changing inside, beginning to glow. This is the fuel that will give us a great life. This fuel is going to see us through. We can do it if we just take a look at what we're thinking. Why did I sit in those little bonkies at school for hours? I was a keen student, I had my hand up there, but no one mentioned my thoughts, not once. Not one teacher, no, you never heard the word thoughts. And yet, I could almost not be here because of my thoughts. Can children learn, and when can they learn? And there I was really shocked to hear that children use the first 7 years of their life. Their brains go at a slightly different frequency during the first 7 years because they are busy downloading programs to live by all the time. And where are they getting their ideas, their programs, their beliefs? Mom, dad, teachers, friends. Again, every one of us is responsible for bringing up the next generation. It's your behavior, especially when something goes wrong. How do you deal with it when one of these little ones is downloading a program and listening? just in my behavior in this instant, I could either be teaching him a great lesson, I could be damaging this child. Become the expert thinker. Each one of us has a role to play, a vital role, and that is the example that we are showing, the example that we are living. The little book is a great tool, but without the mentor being part of the same concept, living the same concept, it's not going to have much impact. You're an amazing human being. Watch your thoughts. Become that great mentor, uplifting, wise, growing the next generation. We can do it, human beings.
A man is what he thinks about all day long.